Jai Swaminarayan. Today we are reading Loyā 12 of the Vachanamrut. This passage is titled The Six Levels of Faith, as well as Savikalp and Nirvikalp Faith. Savikalp and Nirvikalp refer to having form and having no form, often in reference to a state of meditation where one reaches a kind of experience of nothingness. That would be Nirvikalp, or a state of all-encompassing form, Savikalpa. On the night of Magshar Vadhi the 9th, Samvat 1877, which is the 29th of December 1820, Swami Shri Sahajanandji Maharaj was sitting in Sorak Hachar's Darbar in Loyā. He was dressed entirely in white clothes and was also wearing a red woolen dagli. At that time, an assembly of Paramhansas as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him. Thereupon Shriji Maharaj asked a question, or raised one. Faith in God is of two types. One is Savikalp faith, and the other is Nirvikalp faith. In each type of faith, there are three subcategories: the highest level, the intermediate level, and the lowest level. Please describe, in turn, the distinguishing characteristics of each of these six categories. The Paramhansas were unable to answer, so Shriji Maharaj said, the characteristics of a person with the lowest level of Savikalp faith are as follows. As long as God exhibits lust, anger, avarice, egotism, cravings for taste, etc., to the same extent as other humans, the person's faith in God remains. But if God were to display these swabhavs more so than others, then their faith would be shattered. The faith of someone with an intermediate level of Savikalp faith remains firm even if God exhibits lust, anger, etc., to a double degree than that of humans. Finally, one with the highest level of Savikalp faith would never doubt any action of God, even if God were to behave coarsely, like a person of a low varna, of a low status in society. The varna system was used in ancient India as a way of relegating various tasks, or niches, you could say. Since then, it has become very oppressive, and actually the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, which is where I get this version of the Vachanamrut from, has done a lot of work in dissolving barriers between castes, between these classes of society, which can be at odds with each other. So even if God were to behave coarsely like a person of a low varna, or exhibit anger, violence, etc., or indulge in drinking alcohol, meat eating, or adultery. Why? Because they understand God to be the all-doer, the Supreme Lord, and the experiencer of everything. Such a person realizes that whatever actions take place in the world are the result of God, who is Unveiled within all beings as their controller, one with. If then he were to indulge in some degrading deed, it would not affect him at all, since he himself is the all-doer. In this manner, one who has realized God as the Lord of all is known as a devotee of God with the highest level of Savikalp faith. And this, in my opinion, comes from various scriptures which refer to God as undertaking various pastimes according to different incarnations, and sometimes those pastimes involve engaging in ways that we wouldn't expect. And it's important that we try to find some deeper symbolism involved, as well as not see it as something that justifies any sort of these kinds of behaviors, like the ones mentioned, that when there is this opening, we get to see a glimpse of something beyond human understanding, and sometimes that happens through these stories and these various incarnations, that although we certainly stand up for anyone who may be suffering due to their actions, we also look for the symbolism behind such actions, so that if such a being does represent divinity, there must be something more than just what appears to be happening on the surface. Anyway, I'm using very careful words, but this is a delicate topic, and I trust your judgment when it comes to this matter too. This is just my experience. As for a devotee with the lowest kind of Nirvikalp faith, no matter what pious or impious deeds they witness being performed by God, they understand that in all actions God performs, He is still a non-doer, since He is Brahman. That Brahman is like Akash, space, in that everything resides in Akash, and all actions take place within it. The devotee realizes such qualities of Brahman in God. For example, during the narration of the Ras Panchadhyayi, King Parikshit asked Shukji, God assumes an avatar to uphold dharma. Why, then, did He associate with the gopis, the milk maidens of Vrindavan? Shukji replied, Sri Krishna is radiant like fire. Whatever actions He performs, pious or impious, are burned to ashes. In this manner, one who understands God as Brahman, unaffected by the actions he performs, is said to have the lowest level of Nirvikalp faith. One who becomes like the Nirana Muktas, liberated beings of Shvetdvip, who are free from the 6 physical and emotional sensations, and worships Vasudev, is said to possess an intermediate level of Nirvikalp faith. Finally, one possessing the highest level of Nirvikalp faith realizes that countless millions of Brahmans, of universes, each encircled by the 8 barriers, appear like mere atoms before Akshar. Such is the glory of Akshar, the abode of Purushottam Narayan. One who worships Purushottam, realizing oneself to be Aksharup, can be said to possess the highest level of Nirvikalp faith. Understand even themselves as being a space through which the divine appears. Thereafter, Chaitanyanand Swami asked, Maharaj, how have such distinctions in faith arisen? Briji Maharaj replied, when an aspirant initially approaches a guru, spiritual teacher, several factors cause distinctions in their faith. The auspiciousness and inauspiciousness of place, time, company, initiation, action, mantra, scriptures, etc. With regards to the Guru, as well as the intensity of one's own Shraddha, faith and trust. Therefore, one should always associate with favorable places, times, etc. Moreover, one should acquire wisdom from a speaker who is serene and faultless. Chaitanyanand Swami asked further, if under such circumstances one develops the lowest level of faith, Can it later develop into the highest level of faith? Sriji Maharaj replied, if the listener possesses extreme shraddha, and if they encounter favorable places, times, etc., and if they encounter a guru with the highest level of jnana, knowing wisdom, then the highest level of faith will develop. Otherwise, such faith would develop after many lives. Thank you for listening to Vachanamrut, Loyā 12. Jai Swaminarayan.